Kleschka Picks, Week 16, Christmas edition. We got some presents and we got some Christmas items here. Unfortunately, I did not have any football-related Christmas items, but I did have some Angels Christmas stuff, so I thought I'd throw it in there. But let's get started with the Thursday game, the Eagles and the Giants. The Giants are looking to secure a playoff win if they beat the Eagles this week. If they beat the Lions last week, 17-6. Philadelphia lost last week to the Ravens. Carson Wentz has struggled of late, and the Giants' defense has been pretty good. They've been pretty good all season. I think that's going to help the Giants this week. I think they're going to get that playoff spot they're looking for. I think the Giants are going to win 24-17. The Cardinals and the Seahawks. The Seahawks beat the Rams last week. They destroyed them. The Cardinals went into a shootout with the Saints. They were ultimately the loser of that game. And I think the Seahawks are going to win this week. We play great in Seattle. We play way better at home. Don't get me wrong, the Cardinals, I think, are a good defense with Patrick Peterson, Chandler Jones, Tyrann Mathieu, Calais Campbell. The Arizona defense has been kind of off this season. They have great names for their defense, but if they're not going out there and doing their job, then that's just not going to get the job done. So I think Seattle's going to have a great time at home. I think the Seahawks are going to win 30-20. The Dolphins and the Bills. The Bills got an easy win last week. They played the Browns, who are still winless. That's right, the Browns are still winless. We're going into Week 16, and they don't have a single win. Yeah, there has also been 2 Star Wars movies, and the Browns have not won a game in that time. That's crazy. Last week, Matt Moore started for the Dolphins, and he actually did a pretty good job. He did not do bad. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, decent amount of yardage. I would take that. Buffalo, I think, is a pretty good defense, and Miami can be a better defense than they're playing right now. I think they're playing kind of for the names that they have on their team, but I think they can definitely be better. Matt Moore is no rookie quarterback. He's been around for quite a while. He's experienced. He knows what he's doing out there. And I think that's going to continue. I think his experience is going to help him win. I think the Dolphins are going to win 27-23. Falcons and the Panthers. Last week, the Falcons played the 49ers and they destroyed them. Atlanta is having a great year. They do great offensively. They could possibly get Julio Jones back this week. If they do, that'll just mean great things for them. They definitely are going to want to use him. I don't think he'll be a decoy out there. Carolina beat the Redskins. The Panthers' defense is not what it was last season. It's a little weakened, and I think that Atlanta's going to take advantage of that with their high-octane offense. I think they're just going to continue to roll. I think they're continuing to do good on offense. I think Atlanta is going to win 37-24. The Redskins and the Bears. The Redskins, like I just said, lost to the Panthers last week. I know the Redskins are a better offense than this. They've shown it multiple times this season. I think the Redskins are going to get it back on track this week. Kirk Cousins, I think he's going to continue to roll. He's a yards master. He sure loves to throw for yards. And if Kirk Cousins is throwing for yards, that means his receivers are getting yards. So that's just going to equal offense. I think it's going to be a good day for the Redskins. On the other side, we have Matt Barkley for the Bears. Matt Barkley has not been bad this season. He's a pretty good QB from what I've seen, but I do not think he'll get the win this week. Why do I think Washington's going to win? I think they have a better chance against the Bears defense with their offense. I think they're just going to do great, and I think that's going to get them the win. I think Washington is going to win 23-20. The Chargers and the Browns. This is pretty easy. The Browns lost last week to the Bills, but the Chargers also lost to the Raiders, but the Raiders are a very good football team. Any team that plays the Browns is guaranteed a win. Philip Rivers, even though he's been struggling, he's been turning the ball over a lot lately, the last couple games. However, he is playing the Browns, and I think that's just going to lead to an easy win for him and the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to win 35-19. The Vikings and the Packers. The Packers last week, they won on a 60-yard pass to Jordy Nelson. They were tied at the moment, and then that got them in field goal range, and they kicked it, and they won the game. And the Vikings just got destroyed by the Colts, 34-6. Destroyed. Adrian Peterson came back. That did not really help much. He only got like 20-something yards, and that just did not help at all. He didn't have much of an impact. However, he did not run the ball that much either. They didn't give him many rush attempts. These two teams play pretty good games. However, I think Green Bay is going to get the win in this game. I think their offense is just good. They're starting to have a run game now. Krista Michael has just been introduced, and he's starting to learn the offense. And I think that's going to mean a more balanced offense, and that's going to make them more dangerous. And also, the Vikings have been struggling towards the end of this season. I think the Packers are going to win 21-17. The Titans and the Jaguars. The Titans won on a game-winning field goal last week. Ryan Suckup nailed it to win the game and beat the Chiefs. Jacksonville lost to the Texans only by a point. However, this week between Tennessee and Jacksonville, I think Tennessee is going to come out the winner. Tennessee's offense has been great this season. They are very underrated. I think Tennessee is an underrated team. They can still win the division. They're competing with Houston. But back to this game, Jacksonville should be an easy team for them to get past. lost. I think Jacksonville has a vulnerable defense. Their offense struggles mightily. And I think Tennessee's just going to have a great day against Jacksonville. I think Marcus Mariota and the Titans are going to win 32-13. The Patriots and the Jets. Last week, the Patriots beat the Broncos 16-3. Pretty good defense by the Broncos, but no offense was there. The Jets lost to the Dolphins, and I'm just going to end this right here. Patriots are going to win 41-14. Come on. It's the Patriots. The Colts and the Raiders. The Raiders beat the Chargers last week just barely by 3 points. And like I said, the Colts destroyed the Vikings. The Vikings, I thought, had a good defense. Where was that? I mean, come on. They just went ballistic on them. Both of these teams have great offenses, but then they have some vulnerable defenses. The Colts played great last week, and the Raiders have been playing pretty good on defense for the last couple weeks. However, I think this is going to come down to a game of offense. And I think the better offense is going to be the Raiders. The Raiders have been playing great all season on offense. Derek Carr is a little injured, but he's been still doing pretty consistent. And I think the Raiders are going to win. I think the Raiders are going to win 28-27. I think it's going to be close. The Buccaneers and the Saints, I think this game is going to be a shootout. The Buccaneers have been playing great offensively. Drew Brees struggled, and then he came back and lit the world on fire last week. He was the Drew Brees everybody knows and loves. However, I think the Saints defense is going to be what causes them the loss this week. Tampa's offense is just so good that I think they're going to have a great day against the Saints defense. Jameis Winston, Mike Evans, Doug Martin, crazy team. And a very difficult team to beat with those big three. Don't get me wrong, the Saints have a pretty good offense, but they're not always consistent. Drew Brees is usually pretty consistent, but then Brandon Cooks is on and off, Mark Ingram's on and off. However, like I said, I think it's going to be a shootout, but in the end, I think the Buccaneers are going to win 34-28. The Rams and the 49ers, both of these teams lost last week. Both of these teams got destroyed last week. I think this is just a game for pride. However, I think the Rams are the better team. I don't think so much Jared Goff is going to carry the Rams to the win. I think this is going to be a Todd Gurley game. And I think the Rams are going to win 24-19. The Texans and the Bengals. Last week, the Texans beat the Jaguars, and Cincinnati lost to the Steelers. Big Ben threw a game-winning touchdown to Eli Rogers. Tom Savage is also making his first career NFL start. AJ Green also might be returning in this game. That's not for sure yet. However, the Texans are playing at home, and I feel like Tom Savage is going to have great support from the fans. I think that's going to make him feel very confident. And I think that's going to help him get a win over the Bengals. The Bengals have not been playing great this season. The Texans have a chance at the division. In the end, I think the Texans are going to win 21-20. The Steelers and the Ravens. Last time these two teams played, the Steelers were not the same team they are now, and neither are the Ravens. These teams changed. The Steelers have been better of late. They've been playing great offensively. They've been winning. Baltimore's been doing pretty good themselves. They got a great defense. Their offense is pretty good, and this is just going to be a great game. These two teams do not like each other, but the Steelers are at home, and I feel like Ben plays better at home, and that will affect the whole team. I think they'll all play better. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think the Steelers are going to win 30-27. The Broncos and the Chiefs, last time these two teams played, Tyreek Hill had himself a day. He went crazy. And let's just get to the games they played last week. Denver played the Patriots, and they lost. Kansas City lost to the Titans. But I feel like Kansas City is going to take this game against Denver. Denver's offense has just not been there. Low scoring in the last couple games, and I think that's going to be the case this time. However, their defense is still pretty good, and the Chiefs' offense can be stopped by facing a good defense. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the Chiefs' offense has been improving, and I think that's going to get them to the win this week. I think the Chiefs are going to win 17-10. The Lions and the Cowboys. This was another good game for the Cowboys. Last week, the Cowboys played the Buccaneers, and they beat them by 6. And now they're playing the Lions, who are another good team this season. I think this is going to be another good game for the Cowboys. I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. But I think Dallas is the better offense in the end, and I think they're just going to keep on rolling. That offensive line does great things for Ezekiel Elliott, and then that allows Dak to start passing and start making plays. Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback in his own, but I don't think he'll have enough to get past these Cowboys. In the end, I think the Cowboys are going to win 31-24. Just a reminder, guys, most of these games will be played on Saturday. Christmas is on Sunday. That is most of the reason why, I'm pretty sure. The only games that will be on Sunday are Steelers and Ravens and Chiefs and Broncos. So just remember, most of the games will be on Saturday. Alright guys, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I just hope you enjoy it. And like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time.